girl, what's up? How you doing?
I am good. I am very good. I am happy.
Yeah,
Yeah, just busy and
well, things been
busy,
good,
busy,
yeah?
busy.
Things been good. Good.
Yeah, man.
So I
Lots of
hear
stuff.
you got a song dropping tomorrow with this guy that produced it. I think his name is Mr. Eclectic. I think that's what he goes by.
I think
Think
so.
so?
I
Yeah,
think
I
so.
think
Yeah, yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
pretty good song, actually.
yeah.
A pretty good song. That's excellent,
You can
actually.
tell the growth in his production in that. Yeah, shouts out to Jeffrey C.
You know what I love? And I said this to you before. I love that you're not afraid.
No,
You'll
I'm
just
not.
It's like what you send me, I build, I send back, you build, and we
Hmm.
just keep pushing each
Keep
other.
pushing.
And then something comes out that I don't think anybody or any of us
Mm-mm.
assumed it was going to be.
Hmm.
And we love the baby.
And he loved the baby. It was crazy because when I did the track, it was one of those tracks where I was in a space at that time, full disclosure. And
Mm,
here's where the space came from. You and I had a conversation about 3 weeks prior to me sitting down. And you said to me, I'm a jazz artist by nature. I
mm,
love jazz. That's my tone. And I've always said to you, you have that tone, that jazz tone. I love it. So I think you sent me a picture. No, you sent me a video of Sully playing um that KG Sunset remix
oh,
for our
yes.
track, right? And I was just
Yeah.
like, man, I was like, that track really went a long way. And I was like, shouts out to KG Sunset on the remix. The original was good, but KG took it to another level and it was, everybody's playing it now. And while I was watching him play it, you were standing off to the side and you were singing along with it. And I was just like, she's got that jazzy vibe. Just watch her, and I just like, you know what? I'm gonna sleep on it. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nothing happened the next day. Nothing happened the next week. It wasn't until I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was playing. Oh, who was it? It was who was the jazz artist that he was playing? Oh, he was playing Coltrane.
Okay.
And he was like, man, I love listening to this. I'm just dealing with so much right now, and this is my peace, this is my qualm. And I was at his house, and I was just like, wow. And we were listening, we were having a couple drinks, talking, and just being us.
Yeah.
And then I got home that evening, and I went downstairs, and I said, I'm feeling a vibe. And I
Yeah.
started laying down the drums. And then the next morning, I woke up and I said, man, I gotta make this real smooth, real. I don't want it to be, I want it to be a dance floor track, but I also want it to be something really that we can just vibe to.
Hmm.
And as soon as I said that, Sir LSG popped in my head.
Yeah.
And he had a track from a few years ago, back in 2015, 16, something like that. It's called Sandcastle.
Yeah.
And I remember reaching out to him on IG and I said, man, who's playing the horns on that track? And
Yeah.
he told me the artist and I started following him years later. I said, one day I'm gonna make a track like that. I said, I really loved it. Years later, um, I made this track and I sent the track to Indinga. And the whole time I kept saying, it's missing something. Can you tell me what you hear? I think
Hmm.
I know what it is, but I need your input. And I think we as producers need to do that more often. I do it with you all the time. I say, I'll
Yeah.
call you, I'll say, hey, you hear this? What are you hearing? And then
Yep.
you tell me right back, look, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that. Oh my God, send it to me when it's done. that's,
Yep.
that's what you always say to me. And I said, okay, but I still hear something. And I sent it to Indigna. Indigna said, man, you need to put a horn on that. I said, I'll be damned. I said, I kept saying Do I want a horn or do I not? I don't want to make it
Mm.
too jazzy. I want the people to dance to. I want the people to vibe to it. I sent it to you that same day, and you, I promise everybody that's watching this right now, you immediately said, "Damn it, I can hear a horn." Boo, boo,
Yeah,
boo, 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 and you sent me the thing. I was just like, "All right, done."
that's it.
So
Yeah.
I said, and then I said, "I know a horn player, but I'm not really comfortable. I need this back in a timely manner,
Time constraints.
respectfully." You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And he was like, "I got a guy." So he turned me on to Skip Bailey out of London. He's
Nice.
worked on a lot of tracks,
You need
shouts
to
out
hook
to,
me up with Skip.
yeah, shouts out to back home for those that didn't know. I was British born, but I'm Guyanese raised. Bana. All right. So,
We are the
and
same, man. We are the
for
same.
those that don't know, so is Miss Fly.
I am Guyanese
And
by nature.
by nature. So, uh, anyway, so
Yeah.
we had a vibe, and we've always had this vibe. So when Skip sent me back his portion of the horns,
Yeah.
you had already sent me the vocals. And he laid the horns down, and I arranged those horns over that, and it was amazing how it turned out. But
Mm.
how it started, and then how you and I were going back and forth about it, that was my view of the energy of
Yeah.
the song, and how it morphed into this thing.
Yeah.
But then how did you feel like when I sent it to you and you sat down with it? Truth be told, everybody that's watching this, it was 15 minutes later. I don't even think it was 15 minutes later. It was like 10 or something like that minutes later. I sent it to you and you were like, give me a couple days. And I said, no
Yeah.
rush, no worries. It was like, I remember it. You said, hell no, I'm working on this now. I
Mm.
said, okay. But how did you feel like when you got the track and you heard it? Like, how did you feel about it?
Again, see, the thing as an artist is you can get pigeonholed into just doing one type of sound.
Mm-hmm.
And my ear can get turned on
Mm-hmm.
like that when I
Mm-hmm.
hear something like, ooh, that tickled me. And it was sort of that kind of feeling. And I only work on stuff like that. If it
Right.
doesn't tickle me,
You're not doing it.
is I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you're not interested.
Only because it's just a lot of work and a lot of stress. And typically, when you don't vibe well with the track, it doesn't really go anywhere
Mm-hmm.
because you don't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time I heard the instrumental, I had the hook. I just heard the hook and I was like, oh, okay. And then I thought, what is this going to be? Because there's so many songs about, being in love, wanting to be loved,
Mm-hmm.
um, lost love,
Yeah. Yeah.
reacquainted love,
Yeah.
love, love, love.
Yeah.
And, I sometimes I get to this point where I think to myself, how do I say what I want to say when it's really saying the same thing? We're talking about love.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, you know what? The one thing that people don't talk about is how to love.
There you go.
So that was my kind of thing. It was just like when you meet somebody, it's like, I want to know what you know, how to take care of me. Can you do what I need?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happens in relationships sometimes is they don't discuss that at first. You can go years realizing that I don't even know how to love this person properly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, you know what? Let's throw it at the wall and see what the vibe is.
Right.
And then the more I got into it, the more I was like, okay, we got something here. We got something here. Um, and again, that horn thing, I remember Jeff Bradshaw is
Mm-hmm.
an amazing horn player,
Mm-hmm.
and I love the sound
Mm-hmm.
that you can incorporate with a horn. You can make something sound sad or happy, and I think it was, what sound could complement what was happening.
Hmm.
And I think the horns were something that just sort of tucked
Yeah,
it all in.
tucked it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So when you sent it back to me with the horns on it, and which I love what you always do is you're like, go into a corner,
right.
go into the corner with your earphones, call me back after you're done crying, that
Hmm.
kind of thing. And it was
Hmm.
one of those experiences where you sit by yourself and you listen and you think, hot damn.
And I'll tell you guys, I want to touch on that because I literally, what she just said, I said to her. I
Yes.
literally said, go put your earphones on, go in a corner. It's emotional.
Yeah.
Tell me how you feel.
Yeah. And call me back when you're
Yeah,
done
call
crying.
me back when you're done crying. I
Yeah.
did.
And it's one of those things where, and the great thing about this track is that if you take away the vocals, you
Hmm.
still have a great track. If you take away the horns, you still have a great track. If you just put the horns and nothing else, you still have a great track. So it's one of those things that all three things just
Meshed. They
meshed and
meshed.
made it magical
Yeah.
and took everything to another level. It's kind of like it reminds me of the 90s era,
Mm.
Love Jones, Jason's Lyric, all of
Brown
those movies
sugar,
had that,
all that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that had
Yeah.
that sound. So yes,
Yeah.
deep.
It
It's
it
deep.
was crazy. And there were a lot of inspiration. Shouts out to T. It was a lot of inspirations for this song. And you kind of touched on it. It was how do you love? We
Mm,
don't talk about that a lot. Like
no.
it's more of, and for me and for those that don't know, Miss Fly does, you will learn more about me through my music than you will talking to me.
I have often said in my house, I wish I could sing it. I wish I could sing everything I have to
Hmm.
say,
Hmm.
but that you just hit down the nail because if you
Hmm.
want to know about me and how I feel about things or what's
Hmm.
going on in my life,
Hmm.
listen to my tracks and you will know, you know.
You'll know exactly where I am in my space,
Mm,
by the music that I produce and
yeah,
by the way that I DJ. I have a tendency to put it right there.
yeah.
And when people hear it, it's more like, oh, you okay? What are you going through?
I love
Like, were
that.
you angry about something?
And you're like,
This,
yeah, I was.
yeah, I was actually. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to meet people and vibe with people that you can have an organic relationship with
Hmm.
and build off of. And that's what you and I have built over these years. And a lot of people just don't understand. I met MissFly through Sean Ali
Yep.
on a track that he released on my label. And I remember telling him, who is that singing? And I said, because she has she has an accent when she sings, and I can hear it. And I don't want to say what I think it is,
Yeah.
but can you introduce us? And he was just like, yeah, no doubt. And I remember him introducing us, and it was 2 days later. I remember. I said, "Where you from?"
Yep. And we find out we banana
You better
brothers and
banana.
sisters. And from there, yeah, I had a discussion with someone the other day, and they said, talking about my the people I work with,
Mm,
and I said I want to keep that circle small
yeah.
because in order to grow, you need to be with people who are not afraid to challenge you and to tell you when, can you try that again, or oh, this needs this, without feeling like you don't know them well enough.
Hmm.
And I've had so many tracks with you, honest to God, that are like my ultimate favorite tracks. And what I do know is that even if they don't make it to the dance floor, I have had people come up and say, that track is my favorite track. I
Yeah.
bump that track every day in my
Yeah.
car. I
Yeah.
bump it in the gym, or I listen to it, or I played it for my wife, and
Yeah.
I danced at a wedding. And it's like, that's where I want to be. I want to be someone who, at the end of my career, which will be the end of my life, by the way,
Yeah. There we
I
go.
ain't stopping.
I ain't stopping.
I ain't stopping. I want people to say, that's a Miss Fly joint.
Yeah.
I know that voice, I know
Yeah.
that production,
Yeah.
and that's the way I feel when I work with you, that
Yeah.
we're making music that's classics
Yeah.
and music that I'm proud to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel that it's because I hear you a lot on other songs, and I'm just like, man, she killed this, you killed this. And I remember saying um I was playing a track while I was DJing at my Saturday event at
Yeah.
Avenue Kitchen, and somebody said to me, was like, man, that track is killing. I was like, he was like, did you do that? I was like, no, but she killed this, right? He was like, yeah. He's like, but I kind of like the other ones that she
It's true.
and
It's true.
it's no jab to other producers, nothing like that. But when you have a connection with
Yeah.
an artist and a singer or producer or whatever the case may be, you guys just vibe. Sometimes you vibe without even having to say anything. It's like here. And
That's how we do it all the time.
that's how we do it all the time. Even from the first song I sent you.
You know, Wanna Love You is probably like, to me, one of the most underrated songs of all times. And there was a conversation after I sent it to you, and you said to me, "This is exactly how I feel.
Hmm.
This is the space that I feel."
Hmm.
And I thought, job well done. Not just because it was pleasing you, but it was actually what I wanted to say. And from
Right.
that moment, that we were like,
Yeah.
okay, we're on to something
We're
here.
on to something. And then when you
Yeah.
did gold, I think that woke up everybody.
Yeah. Gold
Because
is
it
another
was
one that's totally underrated, by the way.
a production that I've started to introduce in my, you know, in what I do. It's not, how can I say this? No, I'll say it. Shouts out to DJ Spin because he's the one that actually gave me this title, if you want to call it
Yeah.
that or whatever. He calls my production intellectual house.
I love it. I
And
love
I
it.
asked him, I said, well, what do you mean by that? And he said, you know, your music makes people think, and then you make people feel. But the
Mm,
feeling that you're giving them is more of, damn,
mm.
okay. And I said, all right, I'll take that because I like to be different. I
Yep.
don't, if I feel the need to have to fit in, then I don't belong there.
No,
I don't.
you said something. I had a guy, a DJ from here,
Hmm.
Static. He said to me, he said, your music requires thinking.
Yeah.
And I said to him, thanks, bro.
Hmm.
And the only reason why I responded that way is because some tracks can get lots of buzz and some tracks don't. And what I mean is they don't get dance floor buzz.
Right.
But at the same token, these people some people want to be challenged when they listen, and some
Hmm.
people just want to go with the flow.
But see, that was the original Stronger Together. It was more
Was it?
of it. That was the original Stronger Together because the production behind that was more of I want it to bounce, but I want to give it that R&B smooth vibe with a little house. And then you got on and you just was like, "Phew,"
We're going in another direction.
direction. And I was just like, okay, hold up. So I came back and I said, hold, let
Yeah.
me change a few things. And then I remember KG Sunset reaching out to George Leslie and he was like, hey, can I get his information? I want to reach out to him. And he was just like, I want to remix that.
Are you talking about for Stronger Together?
Stronger Together. Yeah.
Well, Stronger Together came because, and it's so funny because every song has a story. Stronger Together was written on the day that they took over the
Yep.
Capitol Hill.
January 6th. Right.
Yep.
Yep.
It was written on that day.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had called me from Chicago and said, have you seen what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
And I am a in the studio rat, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't even watch TV. So
Mm-hmm.
I said, what are you talking about? He said, oh, they've stormed the Capitol. So I turned it on and I thought to myself, we would have been killed.
I
We would have
remember
been
you
killed on
calling me
sight.
and telling me that too. You said, you
Yeah.
know, yeah. I
We
remember
did.
that. Yeah.
And I thought to myself, okay, so while I don't agree,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, with what happened there,
Mm-hmm.
what I realized was that together we are stronger than we are apart.
Right.
And so that was that song. And then Gold was
Hmm.
the morning of Gold. I had watched the news and was seeing that Black folk were being told that they couldn't leave the Ukraine when the war started. And I just got so frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I'm not one to, get on a soapbox and start screaming.
Right. The whole political thing. Yeah. We try to stay
Yeah,
away from that. Yeah, but
it's not my deal.
not my deal.
But what I wanted to do was let our people know that regardless of what circumstances you're in, your bones, what's in
Yeah.
your bones, and you
Yeah.
are strong and you will survive. And that was sort of and that song makes me cry every time I listen to it.
So what's
So
crazy is, and unintentionally, but intentionally, and this is just sometimes how the universe works and how to whomever and
yep.
whomever you believe in
Yeah.
brings things together. I don't want to get into all of that. But if you pay attention to the titles and the vibe of each song, there was Stronger Together, there was Gold, and you speaking of how important being a Black woman
Hmm.
is and how it
Yeah.
feels as a Black man to know inside you're gold,
Yeah.
regardless of what's happening. So I want everyone to pay attention. Stronger Together is gold. And now there's Let Me Be. So we're talking about the human aspect of people, the
Hmm.
love, the how do we collaborate, talk, speak, and just be what we can be. And this is my mantra that I've always expressed to people. If I
Hmm.
can't be who I am, where I am, then I don't need to be in that
No.
place.
Nope.
So, yeah.
It's important for me, which most people don't necessarily pick up on. I'm glad you picked it up, but most generally, I speak about Black love a lot,
A
and I
lot.
speak about returning to before,
Hmm.
returning to before the attempt destruction,
Hmm.
um, because it is an attempt. We weren't destroyed. They attempted to destroy. And so the more that I can fuel a conversation between men and women about returning to that sort of love space where we
Yeah.
can push each other to achieve and not be jealous of each other, and
All
there's
that.
more than enough to go around, that kind of
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
and really focus on families of however they are, but just focus on the love part of it. That's massively important to me.
Massively important. It really is. So
Yeah.
I'll say this, and I've never said it to you before, but I'm going to take this opportunity to say
Don't make me cry.
I appreciate you,
I appreciate you, brother.
you
You
know,
know this.
and we've done a lot of work together. We've built a great catalog of music together. It's not going to stop. It's only going to continue to grow. Let Me Be is a introduction to my new sound. And I think the people are going to love the production, but the people are going to love your voice on this
Yeah.
production. So
Listen, I am so game
good,
for um being myself,
good.
you know? I really am. And I appreciate that you haven't tried to change that.
Nope.
In many respects, you've pushed me to be a better writer and a better vocalist,
Yep. Yep.
and to take more chances and to let me express and to let me be.
Let you be.
you know, so I'm happy to keep working, and I'm a proud Pascal girl. I'm a proud Pascal girl, and yeah, man, we just keep
We keep
keep
pushing.
yeah, man.
All right.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you. There's more to
I
come.
appreciate you.
Thank you for everything. And thank you for allowing me to be who I am.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Love is love. We'll talk
Yep.
soon here. And
Yes, sir.
tomorrow
It drops tomorrow,
drops.
September
Tomorrow.
22nd.
That's
It
it.
drops and it's
It
spectacular.
is. It's going to be something different for everyone. It's the feedback has been crazy. The people that have heard it have, you know, applauded
I
it. And I think this is something that for me, I'm proud of everything that I produce.
mm,
But this one here, it resonates in a different space for me.
yeah,
And I hope it does for everybody else that hears it.
yeah.
I just like the fact that I was able to create it. And then I love the fact that you were able to nurture it into what it is now. Yeah.
That's what women do.
Yeah. That's exactly what women
You give me, you give a woman a seed, she's your
do.
baby.
Yeah,
You give
there
me
it
a beat, I
is.
give you a
I give you
song.
a song. So there it is.
So yeah, man.
Blessings. Thank
Yes,
you so
you as well.
much. And
Yes,
there's much more to come, as
absolutely.
the people will hear soon. And here is a little snippet. MissFly and I are working on our first R&B track together.
All right.
And we are going to surprise everybody with this one. So
Absolutely.
coming soon, but we're working on it. But for now, we want you guys to enjoy Let Me Be
Yeah,
on Track Source pre-order tomorrow. Um,
absolutely.
so love is love, always,
Always,
always. We'll talk
always,
soon.
brother.
Bye now. All right.
Absolutely.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye bye.